Oh. I've missed one. Oh, it still smells really potent. These sweet peas have been fantastic. Hello and welcome back. And it's a real miserable, murky day with drizzle in the air, and that's what we get during, well, usually November, but it's in October this time. So what I'm going to do is start clearing everything back and just try and get as much as I can into the compost. Now that may sound really negative as taking everything out and feeling really sad, but I'm feeling quite positive. I've got a greenhouse that actually is full of stuff that needs to go out. And I'm being a bit ambitious saying they're going to be going out in the next couple of weeks, but maybe in the next month they could be going out. So I missed another 3 as well, and these do still smell as well. So that's really put a smile on my face. Now this bed. The sweet peas, brilliant, absolute success. But the mini pumpkins, they have just not done anything. That's a bit of a disaster. Right, I moved you in closer so the mini pumpkin looks a bit bigger. I have had 1 or 2, so that's all right. It's not been a total disaster. Well, it has really, hasn't it? I see everybody else harvesting those. These went out mid-June, and I think if I want to try and do them again, I've got to have a good early summer, May and June, so they can go out early and start climbing. I've also got the sweet peas at both ends, and they've created quite a shade for this bed. The mini pumpkins didn't create much of a shade. So yeah, next year I think what I'm going to do is have the sweet peas at the back, and what I'm going to do at the front here is blotty beans. I'm going to not do any leeks in there. Once I harvest the onions around about June time next year, then the middle of the bed is just going to be empty, you know, because these just haven't done anything. Now normally I have grown leeks in here in the middle of the bed before, but I think with the sweet peas at both ends, that's created a shade on this bed. So like I say, if the sweet peas are at the back, then they can go wild, and I would have still left them up, hopefully get a few more. There's quite a few flowers not yet open on them, but I just need to clear everything out and clear this bed out, get all these foxgloves transplanted somewhere else. And while I'm clearing out, I'll also clear out all these tubs. I'm going to be rejuvenating all my compost later on. So we did get a very small heads on them, these broccoli, but nothing came of them. I'm hoping at the back the purple sprouting broccoli may actually start to kick back in again. No, this one's actually starting to flower. Yeah, I may just get rid of those and move the ones that are up there into this position. Certainly won't be doing them in the tubs again next year. Right, it's starting to really drizzle now, so what I'm going to do is take you into the greenhouse. Let's get some positive back into this. Well, the miserable weather's continued and it started to heavy drizzle now. So I'm back into my sanctuary, and this has become my sanctuary now. Now that I've got this table in here, it's become so much easier to be potting on, sowing seedlings. And I've got myself organised. So I've got 2 tubs of the seed mix, and I've got 4 potting on mixes. So down here you can see I've got a whole load of mustards, and then there's mustard wasabina and the rat tail. Over here I've got, I think it's 38 of the overwintering onions. Sensu. You'll have to correct me on that. And then down there's some more mustards. So what I need to do is I need to harvest all the chilies off this, and I'm going to see then Well, if I cut it back and actually can overwinter that chilli. And it's the same for up here. I'm going to try and overwinter these. Like I said before in other videos, I've got nothing to lose. All I'm going to do is put them back into one of these 9cm pots and put them into some of the inert, the seedling mix, and we'll see what happens with those. Right, this is one of those jobs which I've been putting off, and all I've been doing is just piling it on and piling it on. What I need to do is take off all this bottom layer here and this top layer here, and then see what compost I've got at the bottom. I'm going to try and harvest some of that, and then when I've got some space, I'm going to try and put in some boards at the front so I can easily pile it on then. But it is one of those things that you just keep on going, don't you? There's so many more jobs to do during the summer, so I'm going to take this opportunity to try and get this sorted. And then eventually I would like to put some sort of roof on it, but right now let's just see what I can do with this now. Right, that's the layer that I wanted to see, and that's a real good layer of good compost there. It goes back quite deep, so there's quite a lot of literage there, so I'm really happy with that. There were so many worms in there when I was taking out the front layers. I've taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 30-litre tubs. They're all full. And there's, like I say, so many worms in there. Right, so what I need to do now is, what should I do? Should I do the boards first or harvest that? I'm going to try and dig out as much as that I can do. Right, there you go. Up here is still good quality. There's so many worms in there. But down here, I just didn't want to go any further, just in case it all collapsed, and then I just got stuck with it, just all coming out. So I've just taken it easy with it, and hopefully, maybe springtime, I could do another dig out and see what I can get, because this stuff, is a couple of months off being ready. Right, let's see if I can collapse this now. Right, there you go, all finished. I say I still need to do the roof, and everything's been turned over, and hopefully around about springtime, when all the purple sprout and broccoli tubs and containers, when they're ready to be rejuvenated, I can hopefully harvest some more compost, because that should be around about ready then. Right, onto using that compost, and also the rejuvenating of my spent compost. Oh, it's gone right on my face. Right, I'm sure everybody's got them, and this is my hidden little corner. I always do the camera angle so you can't actually see it. So I need to now rejuvenate all this spent compost. The majority of them are the tomatoes. Look at the size of the roots on this system as well. I forgot to mention that. I mean, that's how long they get. So that's why I always water around them as well. Yeah, that's something else I forgot to mention. Right, yeah, so I need to do all these. Right, so I've been rejuvenating my compost for around about 3 years now. It gets so expensive. So what I do is I get the 15 litres roughly of the spent compost, then a handful of the chicken pellets, and 5 litres of the farmyard manure. And I just mix that together. I do maybe a couple of loads, and then around about the 40 litres goes into one of these bags, and I just leave it then for around about 6 months, and then I get this really lovely mixture. I let the worms basically do the magic for me, just mixing it all together. So I don't actually buy any compost except for when I buy for the tomatoes. So every year I buy quite a few bags just for the tomatoes, but that's it. The rest is all from my rejuvenated compost or from my homemade compost. So it is quite a bit of a saver. I can get 3 of those farmyard manure bags for just over £13, so it doesn't work out that expensive. and it does become quite a rich mixture as well. So I know they say don't change it if it's not broken, but now that I've got all this of my homemade compost as well, I've got 4 tubs of this, I'm going to do exactly the same, 15 litres, the handful of chicken pellets and the 5 litres of the farmyard manure. But I'm going to do probably about 2 shovels of this in each mix as well. I'm equating that to around about 1 shovel equals 1 litre, but no, it's going to be more than that, isn't it? About 2 litres, maybe 1 shovel. We'll see how we go. So hopefully then, come March, April, May time, when I do need new compost, I'll be able to pull this out from, I store it all the way back behind the shed. There's plenty of space there, and I'm going to need it because there's going to be quite a lot of bags again. I really do have my work cut out for this. It's going to be a bit of a workout. Right, so it's been around about a week since I did the last clip. It's taken quite a while to finish off tidying up in here and the beds and doing that compost. What's really nice in this murky and drizzly weather that we've been having is seeing all this growth, especially these mustard wasabinas. Now they're looking really healthy, a little bit floppy, but looking really healthy. And I'm looking forward to starting to plant out some of these. It will mean that I'm going to have to start tidying up the beds up against the fence, because that's where quite a lot of these are going to go, and to just tidy up a few more bits down here. But looking forward to it. It's nice to see this growth in this murky weather that we're having at the moment. And these are it's flopped over, hasn't it? And these are the chilies that I've harvested, and what I'm going to do is leave some of them to still ripen up and then just wash them and freeze them. We find it really easy just to pull one out of the freezer and just to cut it up and use it as is then. Right, so hopefully the weather's better wherever you are and not this murky, drizzly weather that we're having at the moment. But like I say, it is nice to see all this growth at this time. So I'm going to leave the video here now. So like I say, I hope you enjoyed the video and hope to see you again.